What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome to the MrStraightFacts show. Today, we got things to talk about. As far as being a Democrat, things happening in this country, and Democrats not really showing up for some reason. Although I did see Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders out there doing some things this past weekend, which are good. I didn't get a chance to see the entire speeches that they gave, so I didn't hear of any particular strategies they may be doing that we didn't know about before. But at least they're out there talking to the people, and hopefully they answer some questions. I didn't see that on any of the media that I saw today about the weekend before. Welcome, Roxanne. And so we're going to talk about, you've seen my series that I got out here, the short series where I say, quick question, right? Well, one of them I asked everybody on every platform is, if you were told by the Republicans in 2017 that their tax cuts, in which 60% of Americans received around $930,000 from that tax cut, the other 20% left of the 40%, who they brought in about $1,800. And for those who made $768,000, I want to say, it was a $786,000. I might be dyslexic here. For those people who made more than that, there was $51,000 and all the way up. So if you made $1 million, you made more than $51,000 in that thing, in the tax cuts. Those tax cuts were permanent. Our tax cuts, regular citizens, were not. Now, you notice that they're continuing trying to get another tax cut, but we'll get into that in a second. So based off the 2017 tax cuts, the average person made about $930. Now, the other end of that is the cost of living went up $3,500. Now, I've had some Republicans reach out to me today in comments, not personally, and say something to the effect of, that's inflation. The Republicans couldn't have known that. That's BS. Once again, people don't do your homework. There is a thing called CBO, Congressional Box Office. And it's not for movies. For some of these people who might think that that's a different type of box office. They look into all these different policies to see if they're going to be paying for themselves and what would have to be done in order for it to have a positive effect, and what is the trend of what is normally done with tax cuts and how it can become a deficit for us. It can become a bad thing for us. It can cause inflation. Because again, the idea of trickle-down economics that never works, mind you, could work, but never works because you have to know your audience. If you are a comedian or a person who works in being in the public sphere, you have to know your audience, right? You walk in and you tell a joke. You're not going to tell a joke about overweight people in front of overweight people. And not unless you are overweight yourself. It's just not going to fly well. Well, they should know their audience when they're out here trying to pitch this stuff. These things are something that the average American may not know about. But if you're going to give a tax cut, right? If you do not have the money, then it's not going to work for you. The Congressional Box Office knew, and it already made a statement that it was going to cause inflation, more than likely. So Republicans knew that this right here was going to be an issue, but they didn't care. They still wanted the tax cuts. And how do they go about getting what they want, even though it's going to harm the people more than it's going to help them? Again, average person in America, 60%, received $930. Their cost of living went up $3,500. And they already knew that this was a reality before they even decided to pitch it to you. So if they know what happened in the past and they're doing the exact same thing now, what does that tell you they think about the average citizen? They don't care about you. They know this is going to cause inflation. The reason why is because they're being the same people they were yesterday, the day before, the year before, yesteryear. They are the same people. People who are greedy never become like conscious of the people. It's not something where they just, oh, I love the people. No, they think of the people as how can I take as much away from you and make you feel as though I'm doing for you. Therefore, you don't eat the rich, you eat each other. And that's exactly what they do. Play each of us on each other. When you get down to it, making $930 or getting that back or saving it, $3,500 it costs, you're in the hole. So why would you take the tax cut? You know why? Because they market it to mess with everybody's feelings. You know you need a tax cut. You know things are high. We're going to bring things down. Did you just see, it was today, I think, or he at least said they've been talking about it today. It happened maybe over the weekend or so. Donald Trump retweeted someone saying, shut up about the egg prices. This is what this man won on. Remember, Donald Trump was out there saying what? I won on this thing, a little thing called groceries. Groceries is what I won on. He literally bragged about, I won telling people I was going to do something about groceries. And now they want something done by groceries. He's telling them to shut up about it. And if you're in a cult, you're going to shut up about it. But if you're not, you're going to be pissed about it. And you're not going to shut up because your orange king told you to do so. So the gas prices, the egg prices, all of that is going up. Ask yourself why. Even the idea of tariffs has caused things to go up. Trump didn't even have to put them on yet. And the stuff is already going up. Why? Because of the fear that it will. So everything's going up. The stock prices, the stock is going down. Not the prices, but the stock is going down. It's just insane. And this turmoil, when things have not been even put into place, the jobs have been lost, don't get me wrong, but the tariffs have not been put on. How do you think the stock market is going to be if he decides to put them on? Right now, you're already feeling it. Prices are already going up. There are people in different states. I'm in California, so mines are a little different. Mines were pretty much always high compared to where I'm from, Indiana, originally. But, you know, eggs are gone up from, you know, we was getting them from $3.99 during COVID. Now you can't get eggs for less than $8.99, right? In other places are like $15.99. And if you want to get a little bit more than a dozen, you know, that's around $18.99 and $25.99. Those types of things have been harming people. And all they say is, shut up about it. You can't be helping the people by increasing everything and telling them you're going to get a tax cut. Excuse me. If you know the past, you should understand the future and make better decisions. A tax cut is only going to bring the cost of living astronomically high. So why would you want it? How you doing, DJ? What's going on? Mindful, meaningful. I appreciate you. Elaine, I see you. So I don't quite understand how they think giving us a tax cut but increasing our way of living is something that's going to benefit us. Now, I don't know about you, but if you have any kind of conservative bone in your body, which most people I know do, is that true conservatism, it's not Republican or Democrat, independent. It's not a party. It's how you run your life. If I have money, right, a surplus, then I can invest it to make my money make money for me and live off my own means so I don't have to live beyond my means. And therefore, I'm kind of set up a little bit. That's how you really want to run life, that you live below your means. You'll be able to save some and invest, and therefore you can have a better life as you get older. Republican Party is always telling its people, you want the American people. Don't you want to run to invest your money better than America invests your money? That's just a ruse for you to say, yeah, I want to be able to spend my money where I want to spend it, not the government. And they just want you to get upset about that so that they can get the majority of the money back. And you get like $900. And then what are you going to do with that? You're going to lift the economy. Because the people who are regular people, we're the ones that keep the economy running. We're the ones spending. We're the ones that's supporting this entire thing called the economy of the United States. The wealthy, they do not. Did you know that the majority of the jobs that are provided to American citizens are from small businesses and mid-sized businesses, not large corporations? But large corporations disproportionately get the subsidies, which they don't have to pay back, in the hundreds of millions and totaling all together trillions of dollars, while small to mid-sized businesses receive little to nothing. And if they do receive something, it's a loan, which means they have to pay it back. They may get low interest rates, but they got to pay it back. It's not about helping their company grow or to hire more people. It's just a loan to get you by. Small Business Association to give you $50,000 or give you a loan of $50,000 if all your ducks are in a row. But if your business fails, which they know a majority of businesses do, you'll owe them that money plus interest. And they'll sell off all your products and services until they pay it off. And you still are in debt with that money until you pay it off. Is that pro-business? Or is that like a pro-government thing? And I thought government was in this not to make money, but to provide for the people. Provide services, opportunities, things of that nature. Government is not a business. It's supposed to be helping the economy grow so that we always have money and excess of money in the government so that if anything happens to us, we're always prepared. We have enough in our safety net to take care of us if anything happens. Lord forbid a war, we got a war chest. But these people like to run on a deficit. They like to run on a deficit, which means we have no money. We're borrowing from everybody else. And all we pay down is the interest, never get to the principal whatsoever. Now, if you bought a house and you never paid down the principal, all you paid down was the interest, when you pass away, do your kids have a house? Or do they have a massive amount of debt? They have a massive amount of debt. Because if that house, if sold, is not more than the principal that they owe, they are in debt. The same thing with our country. If you do not pay your bills, if you do not balance your budget and not have a deficit, but definitely just have a balanced budget, then you're always working off of debt. Always. And so with America, what's been happening is that they consistently, billionaires, market these tax cuts as a benefit to you. They are not. And they count on Americans not knowing anything about finance. And it's sad, a lot of us do not know the basics. Nobody's asking you to be a pro, but the basics of finances, financial literacy, most Americans do not know. Now, these are stats from 2019 or 2020 that I'm about to bring up. But about 80% of Americans at that time were just about 2 to 3 paychecks away from being broke. Yes, 80% of Americans were basically living by check to check. Does that say that you're in control of your finances? It does not. It says that most Americans are wildly unable to do their finances. And this is not to condemn anyone. I'm just saying these are the realities. I'm not, like I told you, I'm MrStraightFacts. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't trying to make you feel good or bad. I just want you to know the facts. Now, I'm sure it's changed since 2019, 2020, but those are the numbers that I have right now. It may have gotten better, it may have gotten worse, but that's a lot, 80%. So we need to have our children educate ourselves so that we know. And the reason why I know most Americans still don't get it is because people are asking for these tax cuts. These tax cuts are horrible for American citizens. They're only good for the rich. They're not good for us. The only time they'll be good for us, and like here's an example, like I said before, if the government gives these tax cuts back, right? And these corporations, right? Because Americans are going to do this no matter what, because we need the money and we're going to spend it. So we're going to boost the economy by spending. That's going to happen with middle class to poor people, small businesses to mid-sized businesses. They're going to do that because they need that money. The other times it's going to be, to get investments and loans and things of that nature. But these big corporations and these people who make over $700 and I think $80 or $68,000, they're getting a surplus like $51,000 and more back, up to millions. If they did the same things as the average American, spent the money into the economy, created businesses and jobs, the trickle-down effect would work. The trickle-down economics would work. But as I told you before, the majority of the jobs in this country that keeps this country running, the economy running, are based off of small and mid-sized businesses, not large corporations. So I pose a question to you and to all Americans. Why does the government give corporations hundreds of millions of dollars all over the place, a total of trillions of dollars to corporations? And they don't, and these are in subsidies. So it's basically welfare. They don't have to pay it back. Why do they give it to them when they don't create the majority of the jobs? The majority of the jobs created in America that most Americans are working at and paying their bills and putting food on their table and buying eggs with are small to mid-sized businesses. So why don't they invest in those businesses so that those businesses can create jobs? That's what they do. So instead of giving it to the rich who invest in it for themselves, who never, hardly ever, let's put it back into the economy. They're buying back stock for the most part. They're investing in other countries. They're sending money overseas so they don't have to be taxed on it. And then they just sit there and wait for another tax cut and ask for more. The rich are greedy. And on top of that, evil. Because they literally promote lies to tell you, give us more. We need to create more jobs. We did it last time, and they know they did not. That's why we went through inflation. Because they actually spent more than we make. And when they were given these tax cuts to try to boost the economy, they knew they were never going to do it. It is always a promise that's unkept. But the ideology keeps living in people who are greedy. You think they're going to give you this money back and it's going to boost the economy. It does not. Temporarily, you get it, American citizens, and you boost it for a temporary time because you spend that money. But how long is that 930 up to 1800 for the 80% of us going to last? Not long at all. So it's almost like an immediate boost. People are buying TVs. People are making a car payment with it. People are doing this, that, and the third. They're going to restaurants, eating out for the first month or two. So then when the first numbers come in, it looks like the economy boosted. And then all of a sudden, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 months later, all those months, it starts going down. Republicans and billionaires knew, and Democrats knew that was going to happen. They knew it. CBO actually said it. Congressional Box Office said it would happen if they did not do what they said they were going to do. The gimmick is, we're going to go and create businesses. Okay, that would work. And every time they don't do it. And here's the thing. If you really cared about the economy growing like that, you would put limiters on it and say, if you do not create these jobs, then you owe this money back with interest. Then they'd be forced to do it. But they're not. None whatsoever. So why do we keep doing it? Because America is built on this island of greed. And the idea of also need. They rely on the idea of the reality that poor people are going to need this money, which they do. But that situation is created by them by not paying anything, by not, increasing the minimum wage. So if they keep you poor, they know offering you a few $100s, you're going to be excited about it. And that allows them to continue the cycle of stealing your tax dollars by and large. Now, if the government really wanted to help the people and to grow the economy, there is a definite way to do it. Give it to the actual job creators, small businesses and medium-sized businesses, or mid-sized businesses. Large businesses should not get any money, barely any at all, because they have enough money to invest in themselves. And they have billionaires who are investing in them all the time because their stock being involved in this. They're trading their own money and getting massive amount of money from the government, which is our dollars, going to them for free while they talk trash about poor people. And to them, poor people is everybody else taking some form of welfare or free money. And subsidies is the same thing as welfare, but for rich people. They're both free money that you don't have to pay back. And so people who are rich got mid-size or middle-class people, and some people who are on the cusp of being poor, but also on the cusp of going to middle class, talking shit about the poor, draining us, being lazy and not doing anything. And it's like, wait a minute. These people are working 2 and 3 jobs and barely getting by. And you're saying they're draining because they pull a $600 a month check from the government, while the corporation over here, they're worth billions, and they're taking $400, $600, $800 million on each deal, and they got multiple deals within the government. Elon Musk, in the past 20 years, has taken $38 billion of ours, of government dollars, that he hasn't had to pay back to create things that none of us will ever get on. Think about it for a hot second. Why do we create, like the rocket companies, independent rocket companies that we're giving hundreds of millions of dollars to every year to send stuff into space, all these different things of that nature? Why are we giving it so that they can have armored EV vehicles? They said Tesla, then they backed on it. They changed the name and said EV, but it's probably still Tesla, to have, armored vehicles. $400 million. It says anywhere between 300 to 500 million, but they just split it down the middle and said 400 million. They still could possibly get $500 million. Why are we doing these things when they don't make sense? And then when you talk about middle class or poor people needing money, working 3 and 4 jobs to get by, and both people in the house, the husband and the wife, both working 2 jobs, getting off work, driving an Uber just so they can send their kids to college or even high school for that matter, a nice school, or pay for things. They got to do that while the billionaires are receiving our money for free and playing with it, sending rockets in the sky. For what? Think about it for a second, ladies and gentlemen. I understand we want to be on the cusp of science and all. And they're trying to see if one day, I think it was Mark Zuckerberg or somebody else, they had like a 3D model of what they would want on Mars or wherever, to build another place up there. Think about it for a hot second. Are you going to be up there? No disrespect. I'm not saying like you don't want to go or nothing like that, or you don't have enough money to go or nothing like that. But I'm just saying the average American will not have the cash flow to leave the earth and go up to Mars and be in this place that these billionaires are building, for them to live up there for a month or 2 or forever if the earth so happens to have a problem. I mean, do they know something that we don't? I mean, Mark Zuckerberg, if you haven't heard in the news, he's building a An underground, like, area where 5,000 square feet, something that can survive like a nuke hit. Well, why are you building that? Why would you have something like that? That's some shit in movies. Why would you build something like that? Is there a war? Is there a war, a nuclear war going on that you may think of? Are you guys trying to force something that might happen? I don't get it. It makes no sense. The walls are so thick and concrete. They said something about it could survive a blast. Why would he be building something like that? I'm not trying to scare anybody. I just want to know, why would you need something like that? Who's after you like that, Mark Zuckerberg, that you would need to have something like that in the middle of nowhere? Underground. Who would do that? A bunker. I don't know. Maybe he's like a war buff and he's just like, oh, that'd be so cool. Maybe something he likes. I don't know. But it's weird. It's very weird to have something like that that's private, that he fired the people who took a picture of it and told people about it. I guess this is what it happened, said in the news. But why would they build these things on everywhere? We can't be there. It's our dollars being spent to explore this stuff, but we will never see it. If something happened to Earth, we just gonna get it. We ain't getting up there with them, but we paid for it. If you want something like this, rich people, this should be your money. We shouldn't be funding you escaping us because you fucked up the world, because you went off on somebody and they decided to do something to us. You should be the one that sits here and get blasted. You started it. You're the one that's going to cause it. Then it should be all your money. Give our money back and let us put our money toward people, because it's our tax dollars. Put it toward our military, put it toward our people, and build our economy, and that would make us pay off our debts, national debt, and our deficit, if we took that money back and put it in a financially or fiscally conservative way. But they don't want fiscal conservatism. They don't. They want to bankrupt us. They want to own the country. They want to own Mars. They want to own everything. And it's like, dude, it's enough already. You guys aren't going to live long enough to own any of this shit. Why are you doing it? None of y'all living to 300 years old. So why are you making all this havoc and doing crazy shit? Because they got money, they got power, and on top of that, they got huge egos. And they believe they can do anything. And we keep funding them with government money. Now, I want you to know, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, they're all in on this. That part. They all have billionaires that are making money off of us, while we sit here and live day to day. While we sit here and give them $1 billion every time they run in for office, or hundreds of millions of dollars. I know that Democrats are not happy with the reality that our people, Democrat leaders, are not representing us. Now, that's one of the things that had me thinking. And that's why I started these quick question, series, because I really want people to think. I don't want to always put it into your head like I've done all the research. Trust me, most of these questions that I ask, I've already done the research. I already know the answer. If it's wide open, it could be anything. But if it's a definite, I know the answer. I don't want to give it. I want Americans to answer it in the comment section, so that we can see where a lot of these people are already at. You, myself, and anything like that. We can see where everybody's at. And I'm going to end up, in a little while, and I'm going to give it a little time, coming up with it, an answer, quick answer, to give answers to some of these. Now, if they're wide open, there's no answer. You know what I'm saying? It's just whatever you feel, or what knowledge you may have. But some of these questions, as they start to come, will have definites. And I'm going to see how much our country, our people know the answer to it. And it's not to have a gotcha moment. I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad. I want people to be educated, and even if it's in a short way instead of a long format, then you could probably digest it more in a bite-sized type of way. So that's the reason why I'm doing it. It's not a gotcha. It's more of a education in a short form so that you can remember it. All right? Hey, Root Independent Janet, good to see you. Hey, Kaz. Just saying, I see you. So, and obviously Earthkeeper, I see you as well. So, I just been trying to figure out why these people are playing in our faces. And well, I know why they're doing it. They're greedy. Why are we accepting it? And I know many of us are like fighting it, but it's not us who are aware. It is the millions of us who are doing nothing, who are saying nothing, who, say stuff like, "Oh, we're gonna get another stimulus check," and I'm like, you don't understand that the money you receive is going to come out the back end worse, 2 times, 3 times more. So if you receive, $930 back, if the cost of living goes up $3,500, I mean, you're in debt. You're not, and it's frustrating because we have been conditioned to have instant gratification at the top of mind. We have been groomed to have a worker bee mentality and not a projection mentality of our lives. Like, if I do this, what happens? It's like right now, if I do this, I'm getting some Nikes. If I do this, I'm going to the restaurant. If I do this, I'm going on vacation. If you do this, how much is it going to cost you by the end of the year if everything goes up? And if they give you money, I'm going to tell you right now, if we get a tax cut, I want all those who within earshot, tell people that you know and love, if America gets a tax cut via Trump, don't spend your money. Invest it. It's going to mess with the economy, but it's going to set you up for a better life on the other end because the prices of things are going to go down and you have money now. Now you can buy more stock. Now, once that stock starts to rebound, that's when you're going to make some profit. That's what rich do all the time. Buy low, sell high. So they crash everything. They do it all the time on purpose. They crash everything and then buy up everything. And then after that, they start creating jobs. They start giving people opportunities. And then they start investing in the economy. The economy grows. Now their money, they bought so much stock that was so cheap. Now it's rising. They go from being a 10 millionaire to a 2 billionaire. Do you mean a stimulus check? I said earlier about a stimulus check, but no, what I'm talking about is the tax cuts. That's pretty much, just you pay less. You pay less in taxes. You get to keep $930 of your money, basically, so to speak. But they end up giving it in a sense almost like a stimulus check in a way, giving the money back. So, but when we had the stimulus checks, that's also was inflationary, but there was nothing that you can really do in that sense. It was a have to do. It was a have to do because our economy would have told it. We needed people to spend money, so we needed to make that happen. I get that. But on a regular basis, how the economy works, it's, with them giving tax cuts like they're doing, invest that money. If you're going to be saving that kind of money, invest it. These people are going to get back money or not have to spend a certain amount of money. And they get back in these, like I said, billions of dollars tax cuts for the rich when you give back or save less than $1,000. Right? So that's what I was talking about, Earthkeeper. And so we need to figure out, ways to gain back power from our Democratic leadership. Because what I've been noticing, I don't know if you notice, and I'll see in the comments, no tax breaks for billionaires. Yeah, none. I mean, again, we don't need to bail them out anymore. We don't need to give them money so they can reinvest it and basically not improve our economy. Again, if they really wanted to improve our economy, they would be giving these contracts for 10 million, 50 million, 100 million to small, mid-sized businesses because they're the ones who create the majority of the jobs in this country. And if they get money, there's nowhere else to go but up because they're small and mid. So the small is trying to get to the mid-size, eventually to the large corporation. And the mid is trying to get to the large corporation. They're going to create jobs because it means growth for them. It means their stocks go up. So if you really government, Democrats, if you're listening, if you really wanted to help the economy grow, you would give it to small and mid-sized businesses, not to large corporations. But they're in the back pockets of large corporations. That's why they create all of these funds, or they lobby. They spend hundreds of millions of dollars to get these tax cuts, these tax breaks, because they want it, and they want to be able to do the exact same cycle that they do. Promise the American citizen the world. We're going to create jobs and stimulate the economy, and don't do it. Every time they get in, that's their main priority. I mean, it's almost sickening to see that how this continues to be this trumpet they blow. Tax cuts, tax cuts, tax cuts. And they never tell you how much those tax cuts cost the American citizen. And now, what they've done is that they tried to figure out a new way, get the American citizens pissed off at the government so much, even though there were many people already upset with the government. They just joined in on that bandwagon, took it over, colonized that whole ideology of, make the government smaller and pay for it, colonized an entire thing and said, oh, we're going to go after the FBI. They're just horrible. We're going to go after the CIA. They're just horrible. We're going to get rid of the Department of Education. They're just horrible. And all these reasons are nefarious reasons why they're doing it for each department. Some of it's revenge. Some of it's sexism. Some of it is hatred of black people. Some of it is hatred of others like Latin and indigenous people, and also disabled people and trans and LGBTQIA. All this hatred and dislike for these different people, while talking about merit in hiring white men unqualified for the jobs and leadership that they've been handed. None of it makes sense. But that's the point. It's about feelings. It's not about facts. And once we're stuck in that feeling phase, they'll do anything, and people in their feelings would justify it. There are people out here attacking, other, let's say, liberals, Republicans, MAGA, attacking liberals, saying, now, we weren't worried about the price of eggs. You guys look like fools talking about the price of eggs. Nobody care about the price of eggs. Then if they didn't care about the price of eggs, then why was the guy that you love so much, the Orange Cretin, why was he in front of eggs, groceries, and why was he in front of all these eggs and bacon and sausage, Johnsonville sausages and cereal and all that shit like that? Why was he in front of stuff that he's never bought before in his life? Didn't even know it was like, he looked over there like it was like alien food. Like, what is that, raw stuff? He looked stupid looking at it. But he did a press conference. All he talked about at his venues, the price of this is up. The price of that up. When I get in there, it's going to go down. And you guys were chanting, yeah, prices are high, blah, blah, blah. All these chants you had. And now this man is destroying y'all lives economically. And you still can't admit that you fucked up. Some of them are coming out of the woodwork saying, yeah, this shit, I didn't count on this, because they're losing everything. But the ones who aren't into the government, which is a lot, because the government only employed 2.2 million people. We got over 300 something million people in this country. So it's not going to affect many, many people in this country, many millions. And so they're going to, especially these Trumpers, they're going to discount it. Like, nobody in my family got connected with that. We fine. All right, keep going. He hasn't stopped yet, because he stopped the research on cancer for children, and then brought the black child on at that meeting to say, look what he would have died had he not had this research. I mean, it's really like evil. You brought a child that would have died if this research wasn't there. And then once you got the accolades for that, like, oh, wow, look at it. He likes black kids. See, he's not racist. Look what he did. He cuts out the research that made this kid alive, that helped him stay alive. So much that the child research departments are saying, we don't have the money to save lives like that young boy, because Donald Trump and Elon Musk cut it. I'm like, Lord have mercy. Save Wit, what's up? That's a good question. The bigger question, but Save Wit. If you're not worried about eggs, what the fuck are you worried about? I don't know that answer. I would love for them to answer that. I can only guess that one. I don't have any facts on it, but just by the way they act, they're in a cult. There's nothing you can say. Nothing. If Donald Trump said, you know what, we're just going to have to unalive some MAGA people so that we can, they would be on it. Unalive some of us. Oh, but you're one of them. Well, you know, can't live forever. They will make excuses. They will make excuses. The ones who are falling out of the cult are the ones, and this is a boy. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Y'all, I don't know what this lady's name was. I saw it, but you would think when it touched your life, you would make the right decisions. There was a lady, a Trumper, who lost her job and was upset with Donald Trump, and she said, "I just can't believe," she said, "my friends and family who knew I voted for Donald Trump told me that I should have known." And then, you know, she comes back, and next time you see her talking in this, she says, "But we didn't know." And so right then and there, you understand that she did know. She just thought it was other people, not her. She thought she was protected because she was a Trumper and she was a MAGA person. So somehow Donald Trump, this tells you what kind of logic these people have. They don't have it. She think Donald Trump knows she's a MAGA. All he knows is the position in which she worked. He don't know if she voted for him or not. All he's going to do is cut down jobs. So how in the world would you think that he would have your back when your job position doesn't say MAGA supporter behind it? That means all of you guys are on the chopping block that are in the government. So logically, you made a stupid decision, but that's okay. Everybody can make a mistake, even though you should have been listening to other people tell you you're making a mistake, your friends and family, which she's mentioning. But she continues down this road of, I don't know. I think about what he did and it was wrong. We had no idea it was going to happen. And then at the end of the interview or so, she was talking, she said, I don't know what I'd do if I had to vote again, but this is not right. I looked at the screen. I said, I know she didn't just say, after all this, that voting for Donald Trump uprooted her life, destroyed her life as far as economics goes, and that if she had to do it again, she don't know if she would vote for him again. It tells you the logic and the intellect of a MAGA. You would actually contemplate putting yourself through the same thing again. And I guarantee you, I know why she doesn't know. Because she's like, if I did it again, there's no odds that it's going to happen to me again. It's going to happen to somebody else. It's insane, y'all. It's insane. You don't care about people enough, but here she is doing an interview wanting you to give a fuck about her. But had she not been fired, she would have not given a fuck about anybody else who got harmed. It wasn't me. It was you. You're a Democrat. You're independent. I didn't think he'd do it to MAGA. It's insane, y'all. It's insane. But that's how they roll. It's unfathomable. I can't explain it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, again, I stopped trying to explain to people who can't hold a thought or cogent thought. I just stopped. Because why are you talking to them when they can't understand the simplicities of logic? And that's why I don't address them. I just ask questions on my smaller thing. Hopefully they'll see some of it and they'll answer their own question themselves. And maybe they'll come out of this fog if they just hear logic without any like biases to it. Like, would you buy it? Would you take this deal? And answer the question for yourself. If you do, hey, that's who you are. And again, that helps us see when we look in the comments, like, woo, there's a lot of people who would shoot themselves in the foot. And you would wonder why, like what Save Wit said, why? Is it because of your ideology of, white supremacy? Is it because you believe, that it's women and men are different and you want male and female only and all these things like that, and you're dealing with that because this cult is that way? Is it because you don't like trans people? So whatever these people who don't like trans people, I'll vote for whatever that is, and I have so much hatred for them that I'm blinded with what's going to hurt me as long as they hurt more. And those type of people, I don't think you can save. And I don't even think they're worthy of saving. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you're just going to have to figure it out when you hit rock bottom. All us good people need to band together and ignore them and put them in like the recesses of our mind. They're like an afterthought. But America, Republicans have allowed this insanity to become powerful. The Marjorie Taylor Greens and the Lauren Boeberts and Matt Gaetz is out of it, suppose like now, but they've let the nut jobs in and they've given many of them power. And in so doing, it's hard to save this country when you got people who can't have a cogent thought. They can't make shit up that makes sense. We got people in elected office that don't know anything about our government. Simplicities. I mean, just simple stuff. You remember Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert in some of these Congress meetings, hearings, asking some of the most dumbest questions that a high school student who knew about civics would already know. It's scary. But here is where we are. And so I look at it as us Democrats, us Americans who want this country back need to figure out strategies to do so. Right? And I'm working on that. I'm a solutions guy. So I always think about what can we do to be able to take ourselves to the next level as Americans. And one of the things I came up with is I figured out we need a multi-tiered strategy to get Democrats to start listening to the people and not to the billionaires. So we have to really know the makeup of the billionaires. What is actually happening for the billionaires for the Democrats to allow themselves to not listen to the people, not address the people. You notice there were, like I said before earlier, the people who have addressed the people are AOC. We got Jasmine Crockett, Elizabeth Warren, of course, Representative Al Green, and who else did I miss? There's Bernie Sanders. And I'm sure there's more, but these are the ones that I've been seeing more of. Now, I don't know. I didn't see any of them, and of course AOC wasn't there. I didn't see any of them stand up for Representative Al Green. They should have got up and walked out with him. If he was going to be released for saying what he said, they should have left. This non-backbone thing, I just don't like. I don't get, and I'm tired of it, to be honest. But I started to pay attention to something real quick as I dove deep into how our politicians or how policies work in this country and how the government works. So if they were beholden to the people, power of the people is what the government's all about. We're beholden to our constituents. If that were the case, you would see a lot of them up in arms, just like we are. That's not the case. So for them to be so calm in the midst of this hellstorm, this hellfire, they have to have some sense of another entity that they're beholden to, because it's sure as hell not us. So if it's not us, who is it? Now, my theory is it's the billionaire class. See, the billionaires who are, Republican or Democrat, they might not like each other's policies. They've made billions of dollars off of each other's policies. Democrats made billions of dollars off of Democrat policies. And I'm sure when Republicans were making money doing the things they were doing, these Democrats were doing the same thing. And Republican billionaires are doing the same thing on the other side of the fence. Now, they have a core base of morality, or if they have that, but of believing in their ideology of how the country should run. And then there's some who are staunchly for those types of things. But you never hear the voice of these billionaires like you're hearing it on the right side with Elon Musk. All the rest of them kind of quiet, except for the tech bros. They're like, to be honest, new money. These tech bros are out here talking shit. That's new money. Old money keeps quiet. Old money don't want you to know who the hell they are. But that new money, that new billionaire status, they out there, yes, I'm a billionaire. And they're making themselves be heard. The ones who be quiet know that if the world knows they're a billionaire, they're a target. But because Republicans are embracing the billionaire status stuff, you're starting to see that the billionaires are coming up to the top and harming poor people, middle-class people, firing them, getting rid of programs, talking about touching Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, just so they can get tax cuts, which aren't going to increase the economy whatsoever. Not because it can't, because they never try it. They just bill it as that and say it's a possibility, but they have to follow through on creating the jobs and the opportunity, which they never do. So it's never going to happen that way whatsoever. We're not going to win with the government giving billionaires tax breaks and money and them cutting down the government and destroying the economy of those people who were paying taxes 20, 30, and 40% of their income because they're making, $75,000 and up. While you got rich people paying like 7, 12%, 14, 15% of their income, up to maybe 21, and people who are poorer than them paying 25, 30, and 40% of their income. So we can't win like that. So this government is really, and the Democrats are not really trying to help us. So I say, you know what? If you want to support, let me break down real quick. If you want to support the show, please do. If you like what I'm doing, I appreciate it. That's how I keep everything going. You can subscribe to the channel. You can become a member. I'm going to start having member Q&As. I'm still working on that. As you can see, I'm working a lot and doing research on how American citizens can really take back, focus on Democrats. But if people come in here wanting to work together to get America back on track, I'm more than happy to work with them and things of that nature. So just to let you know. But we're going to go into, and I'll put up any kind of, Cash App or anything like that may have. That's going to come up if you want to support that way. So many different ways people say they can support. I have people telling me they couldn't go Cash App. They had to go through Zelle. So I had to create all these things for that process so that we can grow. All right. Now that I said that, I'm going to continue down the path of what we do. So my research of figuring out, like, how do we structure ourselves as American citizens who give a damn about democracy and growing everything. Thank you, Just Saying. Sleep soon, got to get up early, but here's to the goal. Thank you, Just Saying. I appreciate you for the gift. But I'm going to try and get this done. I got about, probably another 10, 15 minutes in this whole process to help people out. So what do we do as Americans to get back on track and fight for ourselves, seeing as how they're not, and force the Democrats' leadership to fight for us? There's a few things. One, we need to stop giving Democrats who take corporate dollars any money. So you would give Bernie Sanders money for Democrats. You would give, I think AOC doesn't receive it. I'm not 100% sure. I got to do my research on that. But before I give out names that may be accepting dollars, let's just say that. I know Bernie says he does not. But that's how we do it. All of the other ones, stop giving them a dime. I don't care if they are in your district. I don't care. Stop giving them a dime. Because then they start to realize, look, we can't count on the Democrats to give us anything because we're not doing what we say we're going to do for our constituents. Because after all, they're going to need your vote to be able to get back in power. So Democrats need to stick strong and say we're not going to give them a red cent. Just the other ones, as they start to see Bernie Sanders collects millions of dollars, AOC getting millions of dollars, and ain't nothing going into their coffers but the corporate dollars, they're going to start questioning some things. Like, wait a minute, what are we doing wrong? That right there is a warning shot across the bow for them, okay? Then the next thing we need to do, find the corporations that are giving them the money. Those corporations, we need to put them on blast, let everybody know that they're paying the Democrat, whatever that Democrat is, and do pressure campaigns and everything of that nature to basically badmouth them for not doing what the people want and paying these Democrats to do whatever the hell they want to do, right? Nobody likes bad press. And if that's the case, the next thing we need to do is find out what they're invested in and stop buying it. I'm not talking about for a month or a day, for good. Let them know you're not coming back until you give a damn about the people. I would go buy it from a middle class, from a mid-sized business or a small business or even a business overseas before I buy it from you. Now we have covered the fact of showing that Democrat leader who's taking corporate dollars and not listening to us that we won't have their back with money or a vote. We will go and find somebody who will not take corporate dollars that we will vote for and give money to. That resource will be gone for them. The next, again, after that, going to the corporations, bad-mouthing them, protesting them, boycotting them, no matter which way, in person, online, whatever, putting in bad reviews, not allowing that company any breath. They'll have to do something. In other words, go to that Democrat and say, hey, give them whatever they want because we're losing money, right? Then leverage our buying power. Like I said, don't buy jack from them. Buy from mid-sized, small companies, and that's it. Now they have no money going into their coffers, even though they're going to be rich, and you have an idea that, oh, rich people, they got enough in reserves. Rich people don't ever want to tap into their reserves. They believe they're poor the moment that they stop making, if they're making $40 million a day, when they start making $12 million and then lost $18 million, or they make 18 and then lost whatever, they start to worry. Okay? Next tier, if you own stock, sell it from those companies. Sell it to other companies that are doing well. Sell it and get stock at these other companies that actually support. When they see their stock, the numbers going down, it's going to freak them out. Constantly stay in contact with your representatives and say, we won't turn this spigot back on until you listen to what the fuck we got to say. Those things intact, on top of listening and supporting platforms like my own that are telling you the facts and informing you, we start to grow and our voice gets out there to other people, meaning your voice through me gets to be put out there, and therefore they start listening to what we care about and not what these billionaires care about or these Democrats who aren't listening to us. We also start to find people who are believing like us and support them to run for office. Our goal is they don't listen to us, fuck them. I ain't trying to get you to listen to me temporarily. I want your regular response. Your default is to listen to the people, not temporarily because you just lost a little cash. No, just know if you're taking corporate dollars, you're on the chopping block sooner or later. We don't want you back. And I don't care if you do have some of our policies in your head. We need to find people who have policies and have our morality in their head, that they care about the people more than they care about these dollar signs. And we'll always take care of people who give a fuck about us. That's what we need to focus on, because if we don't have politicians caring about us, we ain't going nowhere but in circles. Do you know in the past 40 years, and I probably said this already, 40 years, the American citizen hasn't had a raise that has taken them past inflation. You've gotten a raise, and that raise has been so minuscule as the inflation goes up that you have not caught up in 40 years, meaning your dollar hasn't gone that far in 40 years. CEOs have made astronomical wages increase rather in this time frame, way above inflation. How are you for the people when you won't give them a raise? How are you for the people when you flip out talking about giving the average American citizen $15 an hour while you're giving your CEOs hundreds of millions of dollars a year? It makes zero sense. And Americans get fed up. That's the only time we're going to be able to fight back. The only time we're going to be able to fight back if American citizens decide, I'm fed up with this shit. Now, if you support the independent media like mine and many other of my mutuals, and you start giving them the money to be able to put the word out, everybody finds their niche. I find my niche to be just telling the truth about certain things in news and giving you facts. Not necessarily just reporting the news every day. By my time I come on here, you don't see the news. We want to talk about the news and how it feels for us, and any of this crap they may have said, how it doesn't really resonate with the people and what we feel. Our voice needs to get out there. We don't need to regurgitate what happened throughout the day. We just need to fight back at what we don't believe is going to help the American people. And we do that by listening to the people. That's why I read your comments, even when the shows are over, so I can better understand what the people want. You want to feel and be heard. Well, if you're not talking, if you're not giving me any information, if you're not in the comments telling me, I can't find out. I can only guess, and I'd rather know real data, real facts, so that when I talk to people, I'm speaking factual stuff, and I'm speaking what my people, my followers, my subscribers, my members want to know and hear about. That's why I want to bring all the things that deal with our lives, the economy, our farmers. Like, for instance, still trying to get interview farmers, because in all honesty, like I said, I'm a problem solver, but I like to listen, learn, then provide a solution. And the farmers, the American citizens, we are worried about egg prices, bacon and steak and all these other things. But here's the situation. We're relying on the government to do right by us. And they keep showing us they're not trying to do right by us. If they were, they would be investing their money into small to mid-sized businesses and not billionaires who they are in their pockets. So they just show us in that alone that they don't care about the average citizen, right? So when you think about it that way, American citizens have to start doing right by themselves or by themselves. So here's the thing. I'm putting it out there for you. This is what I'm trying to do with farmers. So the small farmers, and what I've learned so far, and I haven't talked to them specifically, I've just been doing research on them. Small farmers, black farmers as well, they're being controlled by the meat processor, egg processors, and things of that nature that they sell their stuff to. Who sells it or gets the majority of their products and stuff like that, and crops from the corporation farms. So the governments in different places, different countries, they're coming to the actual major corporation farms, and the corporation farms are buying products, and they're dictating the cost, buying product for a cheaper rate from these small to mid-sized farms. So it's really kind of going corporate. And so they're at the whim of these larger corporation farms. So I said, okay, let me contact these small farms and realize something here. We can take back everything from the way the government treats American people. We can do right by us. And I said, okay, let me contact these farmers, which I'm going to try and work a deal and have an interview with some of them to see how feasible this is. But this is what I'm going to plant into your heads, okay? What I'm trying to work with, so let you know I'm still working for us. The egg prices are high. The economy is kind of taking a dump and a dive in a way. Trump them don't seem like they know what they're doing. I'm going to call these egg farmers, these small farmers who produce things, and I'm going to see how are their products doing, how are they doing with their products, waiting for certain people to buy it, because I've heard a lot of them, their products go bad because they're like the last resort for them to get their stuff sold. And I said, if that's the case, if that's true, the American citizen, you and I, should make personal deals with farmers. And what I mean by personal deals is like in your particular state or city or whatever, being able to gigify them. And when I say gigify, it's like when you think about gigify, think about Uber. Think about, things of that nature, Uber Eats. Being able to have food delivered to you directly from a farm at a cheaper rate than you would through the store. Because again, through the store, you're going through the processor, you're going through the major corporate farms, and they're going to the different stores and restaurants or whatever it is, and they're making a deal with them, and each one of them is marking it up. So why not go to the farmers and say to the farmers, look, I don't know what deal y'all got, but in every state, there are people hurting. You guys are selling it to them at a cheaper rate. We know. You got to be selling it on pennies on the dollars for us to be getting it for $3.99 or $6.99. You have got to be selling these cartons for $1.50, right? And you're selling millions of them, but you got to be selling them for like $1.50. They done marked it up all the way up to $6.99. Because at one point, when eggs during the pandemic, I remember in California, eggs were $3.99. You can't tell me that you're selling it for more than $3.99. You're not. You're selling it for much less. So why not pass those savings on to the American people and not the corporations? How about we make a deal with you? Not that you don't have a, because a lot of these farmers that I've seen in interviews are saying that they're basically got their, they're bent over basically. And they have no other choice. And they got other contracts with little small stores around them. So they can have deals with small stores and so forth. So I want to ask them, can we, as the American citizens, go directly through you in our individual states, right? There are egg farmers, I'm pretty sure, in almost every state. We should connect in egg farmers in New York and California and all these different places and say, look, we want to be able to buy it from you directly at a good profitable rate for you, but way less than what the stores are selling them for. If we can do that for the people, we're working for the people and not allowing the government and all these corporations to rob us by going to those grocery stores and buying it for astronomical rates. We can do this for us, by us. So that to me, rooted in the planet Janet, like you said, it's better nutrition because it tastes better. And it's instant. A situation like once it's ready. And we can get it. And think about it. If we put it on a situation where enough Americans are saying, look, hit me up for, a monthly fee, a monthly membership. Hit me up for a monthly membership. I want eggs every month. I'll pay you. If it's like $6.99 or we're doing it for $3.99. And I need 12 eggs. I go through 12 eggs and say I got a small family, whatever. We go through 12 eggs in a week. So if I want to do that, it's like, okay, cool. So I know I'm going to need 4 a month. If I need like 4 a month and they're, the rate I can get them, maybe like $3.99 directly from them instead of $6.99, that's probably a good markup for them. I buy it for $3.99, multiply that by, 4. I'm like, yeah, no doubt. I'll give you $15, $20 a month to always have eggs delivered to my house. And I ain't got to worry about the store up. Boy, you macho man. I do it in a heartbeat. And purchase locally. Earthkeeper, most definitely. But again, I'm talking about doing this on a massive level for every state. And a lot of these companies that I've done research on so far are in, they have maybe 1 or 2 doing it to sell off the excess and not necessarily for their main product line type of thing. And I'm more than happy to have conversations with them to kind of do this so that we can take back a lot of the things that have been happening, right? So those are the things that I'm thinking about for the people that I'm trying to make sure that these corporations do not continue to own not only our politicians, own our vote, and cause inflation because they can't figure out how to take care of a budget. We should be able to do that and not rely on them to do anything. You remember what the Republicans always say? They always say this: you can spend your money better than the government can spend it. That's what they tell you when they want to give you your tax money back so that they can get tax cuts and they can have money to just spend all over the place. Then we can do it ourselves and spend it right ourselves and don't end up putting it in billionaires' hands. Put it in these small to mid-sized farm hands so that they can grow and have some kind of leverage, that they're not being treated like shit or being bullied by these processors and these major corporation farms. It's about time that people take the power back. That's what I feel. That's what I feel. I don't know what you guys feel. I'm going to get to some of y'all, what y'all saying, because I don't want to be hogging up the whole conversation. But Earthkeeper was talking about there are some small farmers that have co-op programs where you buy in and purchase locally. That's awesome. We need to make that happen more. Benny Loco, what's going on? Leanne, good to see you. We have a wonderful farmers market here. I'm going to have a chat with them come Sunday, see how they feel about weekly box deals. Love it, Benny Loco. Love it, love it. It's the contracts, though. They are going to keep them farmers from doing what we need. I'm lucky to have a sister who raises chicken. It's all about the money, not about doing right. You're 100% right, Leanne. Like I said, they have a right, or they have many of these farmers. That's why I say I want to talk to them, Leanne. I may want to talk to your sister. I want to talk to them and see what kind of contracts they got, what kind of deals they have. Because, again, they have them locked up in the deals, but not always forever. They always kind of like to keep the company kind of, nimble. Some of them, from what I've read, I don't know them personally, they'll have like a yearly contract or a 5-year contract because they want to negotiate, and oftentimes they negotiate to give you less as opposed to give you more. They want to be able to have that leeway. So if that's the case in between contracts, if we can get in there and make a contract from the people, then they can be, and again, the people is a consistent amount. We're going to continue buying these things, and damn sure if we can get it for cheaper directly, and these are local anyway, by the way, we're not talking about, shipping anything because that'll bring up the cost and things of that nature. But if we did decide to have that done later, think about it. We still don't have that middleman. They got the farmer, right? The farmer or the processor has to come pick it up. They got to have a truck. So that transition of picking up the eggs and so forth, if the farmer doesn't have to do it and delivering it to a space, that's costing money. And then from that space, being a processor or wherever it may be, that going to the stores, the Ralphs, the Krogers, and things of that nature, that transition also, is it called logic? Whatever. Being able to transport it, the logistics, being able to them deliver it to the stores, that's another fee. Gas, all this stuff like that, paying the driver, blah, blah, blah. Then finally getting to your door. If they can calculate all that in, and we still was getting it for $3.99 before, then we can calculate eventually taking these small farms and being able to create a way that we can deliver straight from the farm to the house or to the neighborhood or to a different state, and only have one form of transportation in the middle, going straight from the farmer to the family, not to the, to the farmer to the family, no matter where they are. If we can do that, then we've mastered it and don't need the corporations. We can get those big corporations out of farming and get our small farmers back to where they belong, being the major people doing this work, because they love doing it. They're not always doing it for the money. I know many of farmers that just make a little bit of money, but they love doing their job. And this way we can give them a good amount of money, doing it and actually getting paid what they're worth, and have it directly delivered to the people, and it be a better food than it would be going through all that processing. Fruit, meat as well, almost everything you need. Come on, Root Independent Janet. Somebody thinking big, baby. Y'all thinking big. I'm telling you, I'm a person who loves to think about solutions and provide solutions. So trust and believe these types of things I already got in mind. I've already decided on how I want them to be done. But everybody can do it in their own local communities. But I literally want to do this for the American people so that we can take back the power. Democrats, Republicans, independents are beholden to these billionaires way too much. And they never do anything to benefit us. They always gaslight Democrats and Republicans and independents to hate each other on crazy things when all of us want to have our eggs and our bacon and our, chicken and whatever, beef and, our rent, all that at manageable rates. You know what I'm saying? We want our wages to actually match the increase in prices, the inflation. We don't want to be behind the ball. We want to be right next to it or in front of it. And we can't get there when we have billionaires controlling our government so that it works against us and not for us. So we, the people, got to do something. I like to live. We need to start building our own solutions that can be applied locally. Telling you, save wit. I'm telling you. I'm building something as we speak. So, you can do whatever you want. I put it in your head. Give me credit if you can. Anyway, something's already out there. But I literally just want to make life better for us. And once we start focusing on we the people, then we will rise. But if we get divided over issues that Americans, if they sat back and thought that it's best for all of us, and you don't get into your ideological mindsets, whether it's Republican or Democrat or independent, we all want to be able to buy our food at a good price, that a company can be profitable, but it doesn't just gouge us, price gouge us and get away with it and then ask for more, or to take tax cuts when we don't need them, when we can start creating jobs with money being given to small and mid-sized businesses and not to large corporations, because the mid-sized and small businesses are giving us the most money, are creating us the most jobs in this country. Then we really can build off of helping the people. If we don't have Democrats in office that don't think like this, ask yourself the question, when was the last time, let me take down the cash thing real quick. When was the last time that your Democrat leadership has literally told you that if we gave money, subsidies that don't have to be paid back, to the small and mid-sized businesses, which create most of the jobs, wouldn't we be caring more about the people that way? Because those people will definitely create jobs. Because they're doing it already when they're not really getting anything back. They're supporting the economy. And once they get too big, stop giving them the money and bring on more small to mid-sized businesses. That way we're always creating new jobs, living wage jobs, by giving those people who want to start and build this country. You're basically making the American dream come true. You're allowing the average citizen to be able to buy a home and be able to take, not corporations, the average citizen to get living wage jobs. We could possibly end poverty that way and move everybody into at least above poverty, and then into middle class wealth and so forth. That way we can actually do something. I understand that a economy that's, a capitalistic economy is going to always have low wage people. But those low wage people do not have to be below poverty. They can be at the poverty level or above poverty so that they can get by. And for those people, we should have communities that are nice and taken care of, that they can live in, and so that we can lower crime. We have to get to the root of why we have crime in this country. Outside of crazy, batshit crazy people, the reality is most of these crimes are coming from poverty-stricken situations in which people go to drugs or go to whatever they got to go to survive, to escape the reality that they can't get a job worth a damn. They can't, and when they get one, they can barely live off of. It's better to live off the street because they can't even afford to keep the lights on. They may have mental issues or they can't afford the medication. These types of things the American citizens have to start giving a damn about, because they cost us a lot of money if we have to take care of people who can't take care of themselves when they want to take care of themselves, and we don't create avenues in which to do it. Minimum wage to me should be, you should be able to get money at or above the poverty level. You should not be getting paid way below the poverty level as a starting out in the business. And around the, the poverty level, you're looking at around 20 something dollars an hour instead of 15 based on inflation. So you should be able to start there. They're asking for 15. I'm like, please, $15 an hour. I was making that in my 20s and barely getting by. You think today you're going to make $15 an hour and get by? Back in the 1990s, rent was $700. Now they're like $1,700, $2,200. How you going to be making what I made in 1990 and getting by on it? Quit lying to the people. That shit ain't real. So they're going to have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jobs. Could make starting wages $30 an hour and not even feel it. Come on, bamboozle. I was being conservative with the 25, the 20 something. But you're right, they can. But those are the types of things that the people are going to have to demand. And as long as we are always fighting against each other, and people are trying to make profit off each other so much and not caring about one another, and you're getting off into your ideological spaces like, oh, you're heavily liberal. No, you call me liberal because I give a damn about people? Then what are you? I may be liberal, then you're just evil. Don't go with the conservative. Let's go with the reality. Liberal, evil. Because you're putting people in poverty on purpose so that you can make more money. That's terrible. Because if the thing is, if you took poor people and brought them up to middle class, they can buy more, which means the economy grows more, which means they can afford more, which means if you have a product, you can sell more. Win, win, win. Why are you choosing to keep people poor? Because there's money in poverty too. I sell them stuff and they give me all their money. They stay poor. So I always have a place where I can go buy up. When I decide I want to buy some stuff, go to the poor community, which I enforce basically because I don't want to pay them worth a damn, and say, you know what? That community, I can purchase it because they're poor. And I'm rich and they made me richer. So now I'm going to go in that community, build $1 billion worth of shit. I'm going to kick all of them out. I'm going to keep 10% so that they don't think I'm the evilest person on the planet. And then gradually over years, that 10% that I kept there so that you guys could not eat me, I'll slowly kick them out to the point where it's 100% people of the same type of wealth that I want to be in the community. And you won't know it because I'll gradually phase them out by raising the rent for them 10, 20%. That's gouging, but they might raise it 5 to 8%. And they know they can't afford it. So those types of things that people have to fight for. Greed is evil, Mark Chapman. You're 100% right. I thank you guys for the gifts. I did say for the people who gave me funding, I appreciate you. I don't know if anybody gave me a cash app or anything. I didn't see that. I don't know if anybody gave me anything in that way. But I see Kaz Panak, pen check. Thanks for helping us speak up and move differently. Thank you. I appreciate you for the $5. It helps out every time. Just saying, I appreciate you as well. And anybody else wanted to support, I appreciate it. If not, I understand. So just to give you guys insight, this is what I do. I want to continue coming back and giving us solutions so that we can work toward things. I love the fact that people in here said that they were going to talk to people in their communities and be able to try and implement what I've been talking about and hopefully be able to help out their communities. This is what it's all about, people, is being able to implement these things locally so that we are on the same plane. And when, here, do me this solid, whomever's out there doing that, when you get to that farmer or whatever he or she says that that's cool, that they'll do that within that community, let me know who they are. I will promote them on the platform for one, maybe interview them if they want to do that as well. But so that they can tell us how this strategy would work for them. I want them to keep coming back to us so that we have this resource that we can tell other cities and other states and other counties, you can do this with your farmers as well. It's working wherever, Whoever said that earlier, I don't know if it was rooted in the planet Janet. I think it was, uh, who was it? I think it was Benny Loco that said that. I think I'll look at it again. But if it works, let me know, and I would love to interview and talk to them and see how it works. If how it would make it better, because if we're not here providing the solutions and talking to the people who are the movers and shakers to make it happen, then we're really not doing our part. So, like I said, I'm trying to get these farmers so I can talk to them and provide them to you, and whatever they say, you can implement it in your own city and state, and you can be able to help people out and be a true activist and get out there and do things for the people, by the people, and take back control from the billionaires. Because in all honesty, they do not care about you. If they did, they would listen to you. I have yet to see one billionaire come out like Elon Musk is on the Democrat side saying we're going to fight against this. They're quiet as church mouse. The Democrats quiet as church mice. It's only a few of them actually saying something and doing something, and I cherish what they're doing, and they will receive donations from me. But the rest of them won't receive a dime. Even the ones that are in my town, in my city, in my state, I ain't giving you a penny until you listen to the people. Learn from Bernie Sanders. Learn from Elizabeth Warren. Learn from Representative Al Green. Learn from AOC, and learn from Jasmine Crockett. If you don't, you'll learn that your pockets will be empty, coming from a lot of citizens in this country who are Democrats who are fed up with your mess. Realize that we're starting to organize, and it's you we're after, not Trump. You, because you're the one we entrusted to have our back. And because it appears you don't, then we're going to have to do what we have to do to make you listen and act on our behalf, not the billionaires. I said what I said. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate y'all. Grassroots, plant some seeds. That's right, Bamboozle. I'll try and video my interactions with them if you can. If not, Benny Loco, just ask them if they would like to be on the show, and I'll interview them if they say yes or whatever. But if you can, that's cool. You got my information. You can always, I think you do. You can always email it to me, or any other way. If you can hit me up with an email, I'll give you another way to be able to get it to me. We need to get out there and do it, ladies and gentlemen. So I'll be here every Monday through Friday, 5 p.m., and we can talk about it, deal with it, change the world day by day. And as long as you stay loyal to the plan and start working on it and talking to the people, and I mean loyal not to me, to the plan. And our plan, we should devise it as as our members. I'm gonna have a membership meeting live just for us coming up here pretty soon. It may be on Wednesday. I'm trying to organize it, where we're going to talk about these things and how we can benefit us, the American citizen who give a damn about all of us and not just a cluster of us, right? And the Democrats, I mean, even if you aren't, I don't know if I can trust a Republican who pretends like they really give a damn about people right now. It's kind of scary. But regardless, I don't know what anybody is in this room. I just know the energy, and I love it. So thank you, Leanne. I appreciate the donation. My sister has her chickens in the backyard. Most need to start small, but you start with the seeds. Okay, that's wonderful. I don't know how much she produces, but at that same time, she might be able to. Let me go back to the back. She might be able to help out her neighborhood in the same situation to make some money on her own. And I don't know, she may already do that, but yeah. Musk calling that senator a traitor for visiting Ukraine. Quiet part real loud. Yeah, that's much insane. I mean, I heard one thing before I go, because I've been holding you guys for too long sometimes, I think. But one thing I heard about Elon Musk is that he said something out of pocket and I don't believe it. I don't believe anything he says. He's never given me a reason to believe him, because he pretty much lies every time he opens his mouth, like Donald Trump. But he said, this is what he said, that, I guess Twitter went down. I don't have Twitter. I got rid of it. I don't know. I might go back on it just so that I can try and reach some of the Democrats who are still over there. Personally, I don't like it, but if I really want to help our people, I got to reach them wherever they're at. And I know some Democrats are still over there, so I might but it was down supposedly. I don't know if it was today or recently, and he said the IP address came from Ukraine. He tried to blame Ukraine. I do not believe it. Take care, Kaspanek. I appreciate you. I don't believe it whatsoever. None. Because you can't trust him. And the way, they're trying to attack Ukraine, I highly disrespect it. Because all of a sudden, it's Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. They're trying their best to get away from saying Russia, Russia, Russia. But it's the same thing. They're just Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. And I'm like, look, I don't believe for 1 second in the middle of a war, these fools are thinking about you and your damn Twitter. If anything, somebody from Russia is using some kind of system that you see Ukraine, but it's behind a Russian wall. And they got you out here saying this shit so that you can degrade Ukraine because you guys want their property so that you can make money with this Trump Gaza bullshit. And that was Trump Gaza, but we make money off of Ukraine by taking over their property. You want to take money off of Ukraine as well, off of Gaza as well. You're doing the exact same thing for both of those sides of the country. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of them doing it to the Palestinians in Gaza, and I'm sick of Trump. I know they want to take that property, Ukraine, and take their resources. That's all they talk about is their resources. That's what they're trying to sign to take his resource. And I'm like, look, if I was Ukraine, I would say, yo, don't give America shit. No, don't sign away 50% of your resources to them for nothing. Keep your shit. Fight it. Fight it. Let the other country give in and let America fuck itself. Because they are fucking themselves with every other country, if that's the case. So I look at it that way. Because what's going to happen if America don't wise up? Other countries with enough money and power are going to get in there and take up the resources, take up for Ukraine, and might put feet on the ground, boots on the ground, so to speak, and help them win this war. Then you're going to look stupid because you sat there on Russia's side. But they're just oligarchs. They literally want to have each other's backs. So I'm not for that. I'm for America, but I'm not for bullying people. This is not making us safe. It's literally messing with our safety. We have been with the United Nations. We've been with these countries for a long, long time. Canada and Mexico has been with us for a long, long time. Over there, they've been with us for a long, long time. We are not going to turn on Ukraine because we got Poland over there. We got all these other countries that are a part of us. If Russia takes them, which they promised to do, what happens? We have to put boots on the ground. But see, what they're trying to do is get out of that. Oh, we don't want to be a part of it no more. We don't want to be a part of it. So when Russia does decide to have a war, we don't back out of it, so we don't have to put boots on the ground. But they do. America's doing some shady shit, and it's not Americans, it's Republicans that are doing this shit. Just keep in mind. Powers. One day, one genius will figure out how to profit off housing the homeless the same way that the vultures tax liens and foreclosures. Save Wit, I'm on it. I really am on how to end poverty. I've been on that for years, and I do have a platform that I'm building that I believe will make it happen. But I'm always thinking about solutions. That's what I do. You can't be Christ-like and a billionaire. I believe I can because I don't focus on the money. I focus on the people. That's what Christ-like is about. You need somebody who believes that if they can make it happen for the people and put them first, then you can be able to use the money to help the people, not hurt the people. It's not about collecting billions of dollars to make billions. It's about being able to help people see that if you make this type of money, whatever you're doing, you can be able to help people with it instead of always trying to hoard it. My mindset is this: you can't take it with you. You should make your country and your people proud by helping them. You can buy all the yachts you want, but it ain't gonna help our people. The whole thing, I guess, in the Bible is basically saying The love of money is the sin, but you need money to get by and do good by people. It's the love of money over people that's the sin, not the idea of having money. So if you were given all the money in the world and you focus on what you can do for the people more so than you focus on what you can do for yourself, you're living what I believe, if you are a believer or if you believe in God or whatever, you're living a life that God wanted to happen. That's what he did it. He had everything, and he gave the world to us. Had he not had everything, he'd had nothing to give us. So the idea of having things, but having the ideology of to give and not hoard, that's the true meaning of what I believe of being a steward of a higher power. If you are given a gift, to whom much is given, much is expected. Means if you get through this and you make it somehow, you win the human lottery, and you're making all this money, it's not meant for you to hoard and buy a bunch of things. It's meant for you to make other people's lives better. Because your life, by doing better, is already going to be better. But we got to get people with that mindset. That's what I believe. I could be wrong, but I believe that can be done. It's just going to take good people to do it. And I believe a lot of people in here are good. I believe if a lot of people in here who speak by listening to your comments, I believe if you were blessed with $1 billion, you would be doing things for people you love. You wouldn't turn into this evil, maniacal person that just wanted to hoard money for the rest of your life. Most of us realize, because we weren't born wealthy and into this greedy mindset, that if we had, some of us like, if I had $1 million, I quit and I just go live on a farm and do whatever. But if you were blessed by, whatever, got $1 billion, you would be doing everything you can to help your family, friends, neighbors, buying property so that you can give people opportunities to have housing who wouldn't have it before. Many of us would end up, if we had billions of dollars, we would end up starting hospitals and funding it by selling our products and services, and already paid for the hospital. The products and services would pay for the hospital to continue running itself. If you gave a damn about people and you were a billionaire, that's what you would do. That is being Christ-like or God-like. You know what I'm saying? What God wants you to do if you believe. Or what anybody who has a freaking heart and care about people over paper, right? That's what we got to do. But we'll see. You can't take it with you. Come on, Rude Independent Janet. That's the way I look at it. You can't take it with you. What am I gonna do? Go to heaven with $100 million worth of jewelry on my neck? You're gonna dig that shit up and take it in a heartbeat. Why do you care? It's about having fun while you're here and while you're living, while you're breathing, and being prepared for when it's time for you to go, that the people behind you have that same opportunity. And not just your family, but those that just want the American dream. Everybody should have a chance at it. Because after all, your work ethic is going to determine how far you go in life. If you determine that you want to work at this particular thing that you love and like consistently every day, you're going to reap what you sow. The life of yours is going to be somewhat what you believe. Now, people of color are going to have a harder time. Women are going to have a harder time. Trans and bi people and gay people are going to have a harder time. You can still achieve it if you have people who give a damn about people. We got too many people who give a damn about what you look like and who you're sleeping with. Then they give a fuck about the fact that you have a heart, you love, you care like everyone else. Once we can escape all that stuff, then we can have a better place to live. America can be a better place. But it's going to take many of us who have that heart to to stop playing the background and get in the foreground, to stop holding these beliefs close to the chest and start proving that these are the best ways to make the world a better place. And we got to say it loud and proud. That's how we change. Living in the darkness, being a good person and never showing it, you don't set an example for other people to do what you do, to feel like you feel, to benefit from it like you're going to benefit from it. You can't get blessings and then hide them so that nobody else gets blessed. The more you bless people with your brilliance, the more the world becomes a better place because they learn how to be brilliant by seeing how you shine. So that's what we should do. And that's what I plan to do. And that's what I'm going to keep on coming back and saying and doing until people get it, until people start inspiring the young and inspiring our people and telling people to stop hating so much and to care about people who just want to have a good life. There's really nothing different about us. There is no supreme being. They're just good people and bad people. And we need, as good people, to drown out those bad people so that we can have a better place. The world should look more like the rooms that I'm in most of the time. People are loving and caring. They talk with one another. We don't know whether you're a Democrat or a Republican or independent or whatever, but you're speaking about great things in life. You're speaking about being able to pay your bills. You're speaking about, people listening to you, right? And oftentimes, in here it's Democrats, but even in my content, you'll get Republicans saying, why aren't you talking about the Republicans too? Or why aren't you talking about independents? I'm like, well, if you're listening and it is actually resonating with you and you're an independent, then you need to start a live or, YouTube, TikTok, and start speaking to your independents. I can't speak to them if they're not listening to me. That's your mission. You're an independent. You're a Republican. And if you feel this way, then you need to start speaking to them so that they feel like they're at home when they're listening to you. And you just might find your tribe that understands you. And then we can always have, a conversation and getting back to agree to disagree on some things and then agree on other things that help all American people, not just Republican, Democrat, or independents. Novel idea. All right. I'm about to get up out of here. I want to thank you guys for subscribing, for becoming members, for donating, whether it be wherever, Cash App here. It helps me do what I do. It helps me be able to get, people on air, and get all the software and things that I need to make this stuff happen. I'm trying to get better quality. So if you can donate, I appreciate it. That's how we do it. Subscribe, become a member, and we're going to start doing some member stuff coming up soon, and Q&As and things like that. I want to talk to some of you guys, and actually go membership live and bring people up and talk and things of that nature. I'm still working around all these things that I need. But up until then, you know how to reach me. You got my email. I'm following you probably in many different formats. Reach out to me and I'll do everything I can to get back to you as soon as possible. We have to include one another in order to make it a better place. All right. You guys have a great evening. Y'all be safe. Much love to you. Stay brilliant because you are. And if nobody ever told you that, I just did. And continue telling yourself that because individually we're brilliant and together we can't be stopped. All right? Y'all take care. Much love.